Welcome back to the Director's Garage. I'm your host and resident idiot, Michael, and folks, it's been a minute. Well, let me catch you up on where things are. Let's do some headlines.
Headlines, get your headlines.
Okay, so I went to Africa on assignment, and I went to cover the drought in a town called Kalapata, Kenya, and it's a very difficult assignment. I posted a link to the video on the community page, and I came back with COVID. I missed the Emmy Awards because of it, then I tested negative, and then the Queen died. So I went to London. I got sent to London to cover the funeral, and I was gone for a week, 3 continents, COVID, and I'm still dealing with a lot of family stuff. Folks, it's been a month. Well, anyway, I'm back, and for the London trip, I brought these, the Bowers & Wilkins P7, a headphone that at one time I considered to be a quality luxury pair of travel. They do all kinds of folding, hijinks, great thing, and a commercial tuning. So I'm on the plane and I put these things on, and folks, I can't believe how terrible these things sound. I mean, now granted, my hearing is a little off because of the COVID, but honestly, they're not even as comfortable as I remember. I think I'm becoming an audio snob. What happened? So one of the unfortunate things to all this traveling is I missed Can Jam Los Angeles, which is where I get to meet you guys and connect. But my job supports the channel, so I gotta kind of go with the day job stuff. But I'm looking forward to hearing all of your impressions on the threads. I can't wait to read your opinions. Now, while I was gone, a bunch of releases were announced, including some flagship headphones. Now, first is Focal. This was maybe the worst kept secret. I knew this weeks ago, and I'm not even connected, you know? So there's a new Utopia out, and they didn't change the name. It's simply called Utopia 2022. Very original, but I gotta say they didn't do much for it in the looks department. So this is the old one, and take a look at, the nice chrome grille and raised, I don't know, they just sort of blacked everything out and thought that they'd call it modern, I guess, but I think they could have done a lot more with it in the eyes. But the word is there are substantial gains across the board in terms of sound. I can't wait to check the new ones out. Now, Dan Clark Audio released a new open-back version of the Stealth. It's called the Expanse. I don't know. Well, the Stealth didn't impress me in any of the demos that I heard, but maybe they righted the ship with the Expanse. It certainly sounds mysterious. Oh, God. Okay, so Noble Audio announced a full production run of its Viking. Now, that's a headphone I first broke on this show right here. They released a run of 70 of them about 6 or 8 months ago, and now they're doing a full production run. I don't know what the cost is, but that's an IEM that is definitely on my short list. Now, Meze released the 109, which is a souped-up open-back version of the Meze 99, and it looks impressive enough. Can't wait to hear that one. But those are your headlines for today. So I gotta confess, I missed doing this show, but when I had COVID, I couldn't do any reviews. My hearing was screwed, and that would have been totally unfair to you guys. I just had to wait it out. But we're back, and I have a new headphone to check out, and this one comes to us from our fine friends at Audio 46. Folks, Audio 46 is your personal audio superstore. It is the place to check out the new Focal Utopia 2022 and the Dan Clark Audio Expanse. If you're looking for the latest and greatest, Audio 46 has it. And if you use the coupon code Director's Garage, all one word, at checkout, you can knock an extra 5% off most of the items they carry. They ship fast and free, and these guys are the very best in the business. Great guys there. Now, this unboxing was supposed to be a blind unboxing, and the way it works is Audio 46 sends me a package, I don't know what's in it, and we open it live on the show and check it out. It's supposed to be some live action, but I made a big mistake. I did. I totally screwed the pooch.
Hey.
I opened this box, I thought it was something else, and what can I say? I messed up. So, it's not new to me in terms of I know what's in the box, but to my credit, I didn't open it. I didn't listen to this headphone. We're going to check it out just like normal together. You know, it's just an open box. You know, it happens. It's the drugs, kids. Stay off the drugs. Okay, so here's the box now, and let's just get it open. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And what we have here is a Sivka SV023. Yes, it's the Sivka SV023. This is a headphone, folks, that I've been hearing an awful lot about, and it's gotten some great reviews across the web. So I'm really excited to be able to show these off on the show. I just wish I had left the box unopened. So I've never seen this headphone for myself. I think we're just going to have to dig in and open the box. What do you say? And what we have is a box that was kind of tough to open, and once again, Sivka, folks. Sivka has once again outdone themselves. Can somebody please have a discussion with them about what this case looks like? Let's just leave this hanging here for a few and... So juvenile. Let's just open this up and show them off. Oh, it's too much. Wow, these things are beautiful. Wow, Sivka. Man, now... This is very, very nice polished cup here. Let's just get the case out of the picture here, because I just can't, guys. I'm sorry. I'm 12 years old, okay? They don't feel terribly expensive though. But they've got really nice wood.
Come on!
It's got good wood. The wood cups are really nice and they're polished, and this part feels great. And I like the screen. So we've got an open back here. We've got Sivka. It looks like 2.5 connectors on the bottom. But it's the rest of it is really springy. Seems like they got a little bit of an improvement here on the headband. Let's see how they feel. They feel really good. That I got to give them credit for that. These things feel like a nice light set, comfortable set. By the way, down here, this is cloth on the inside. This is a fabric, and then you've got a leather. This is leather. This feels like leather to me, like it's real lambskin. So they've leveled up in terms of their materials. I just am not quite 100% down with this band. It just feels cheap. But the cups, major improvement, and the comfort is stellar on these. You can barely tell they're on your head. So with the kudos out of the way, let's dig in and see what's in the bag here. And you get a little 1/4-inch adapter, and then you get a nice decent cable. It looks like a little weave. I don't know. I just off the top of my head, I'm going to call these at a couple $100. But let's see what it is, and we'll plug them in. And what do you say we roll ourselves into a director's garage sound impression? All right, checking out the Sivka. By the way, this is a 4-into-2 weave and a Pentagon connector, and then they give you some adapters. I didn't mention that before we did the break, but we're going to start out with some Paul Simon. I'm going to go to a track called Late in the Evening off of an album called One Trick Pony. And I like this track because it's got a lot of different voices with it, and some horns and some different instrumentation. And this can be a really impressive song on the right pair of headphones. There seems to be a nice bottom end on them. In fact, it seems like these extend deep into the sub. I'm getting some nice punch down low. It's not a punchy bass. It's more like a solid, well-formed bass. So I'm impressed with the bottom end of this. They're a little bit leaning to the bright side, but I'm getting a pretty good sense of balance. There's nothing overdone on this headphone. There's nothing that's jumping way forward. If anything, I would say it's a little mid-forward, maybe. Seems to be a decent image. It's not standing out, but it's not... there's nothing negative there. And they feel wide enough in the soundstage department. It's a pretty good set of headphones just out of the gate, but I want to get some more listening in because they're a little wonky. They're a little different. See, this is the breakdown section where it's all drums. And this sounds nice. It's not a bass head headphone. These aren't giving me a lot of punch, but there's good representation down low. Like I'm hearing stuff that digs deep into the bass. But it's not forward. It's not bass forward at all. All right. Well, let's give it a real bassy track right now, just so I can start getting some ideas. I'm gonna go to Kiko, Dreamin' Blue, which is my go-to for bass, and this will tell me what the bass is really all about. Yeah, there's good sub here. It's not bass forward, but there's good sub and there's decent slam. It's giving me a little bit of a kick, not a major kick, but it's giving me a little punch in the back here, which is good. It's what we want to hear. Boy, I thought these were leaning a little bit bright, and now this one, this seems like a very nice tuning up high. Because Dreamin' Blue, man, the high stuff on the wrong headphone can really get into that grating territory. And I've got the volume back up again, and this isn't bothering me. It's not coming across as too bright. This is sounding like a very well-balanced set of headphones right now. Oh, the horns are very nice. All right, let's check out, let's give it a little more, let's give it some guts. I'm gonna go to the title track, Back in Black, from AC/DC. I wanna hear some guts, some gutty, gritty stuff right now. Let's see how it goes with rock. But there's a really nice bass on this. I like my bass a little more pushed forward than this is, but there is sub here and there is bass here. It's just nicely presented with the rest of the mix. This track is pushing a little bright. Brian's vocals are just a little bit over the edge. Yeah, it's a little bit shouty. Okay, heavy metal isn't going to work on this. All right. Okay, now we're going to go off the rails. I'm going to go to Michael Jackson, and I'm going to go to Billie Jean. DSD 64 version of Thriller. This is nice. Ooh, really nice soundstage effect there and imaging with the bouncing between the ears. Yeah, these are nice. These are a pleasant set of headphones. I can definitely tell that Sivka is going for a more upscale attempt with this headphone. This headphone is going to be over $300, and I feel that because of I have to pause this. Let me pause it for a second, but I feel like Sivka's definitely going for a more. They're trying to upscale a little bit with this headphone. The cups are very beautiful and they're very well machined and crafted. The pads are a major step up from the last pair of Sivkas I did. And the feel of these on the head is quite nice, although I still am not a huge fan of the metally metal. And as far as resonance, there's no damping at all on this. So any little touch to this is going to reverberate through the headphone. But they're definitely going upscale, and I will go and, when I get done with all of this, we'll go and we'll check out the price. But just keep that in mind. I think they're going for a more upscale product here. The tuning to me is very like neutral, but it's audiophile neutral. It's not like it's not LCD5 neutral, which is really like a flat headphone. They come across as more in the flat range. There's some accentuated bass, but it's very tastefully pushed. They're a little bit up on the bright end. There's a little bit of treble push. And what I think they're trying to do with the treble boost is they're trying to overcome a little bit of the deficiency in the speed. I don't think these are the fastest headphones I've ever heard. And frequently what they'll do to try and accentuate and make it seem like there's more detail present is they'll just boost the treble a little bit. That's a common thing I've heard with headphones as I've been reviewing more and more. And I think that's what they're kind of doing with this headphone, is they're just pushing the treble a little bit to make it seem like maybe they're a little faster than maybe they actually are. But let's go on. Let's listen to some other stuff. We're going to get into some jazz. I'm going to go to... let's go to Dave Brubeck. We're going to go to Timeout. It's like take 5. This track is all about syncopation, and Dave is laying down this hypnotic... Dun, 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 and then the drums are really playing along with, staying more in time with Dave. And then over this, you've got an alto sax played by Paul Desmond, and it's weaving itself in a very flowing way over the syncopated rhythm, and it's a very beautiful tapestry. It's one of the signature tracks of jazz from the 60s, and it really is a standout. And what I like about this is the drums are really snappy on this headphone, and Dave's piano is very nice. I think the alto sax might push a touch bright here and there. It's just a little edgy, but it's a really interesting listen on this headphone. They certainly have the comfort down, and the basic presentation is there. I just think these might be a little too bright for my taste at times. Certainly when I went to the heavy metal, that was rough. Dave's a little better. This doesn't bother me as much, although when the alto sax comes in, it can get a little edgy. All right, let's go check out a few other things before we wrap this up. Okay, I'm going to go to some Frank Zappa now, and I'm going to go to Joe's Garage. It's one of my favorite albums of Zappa's. It's this story of how there's a central scrutinizer. It's like a society that's being dominated by the government, by the central scrutinizer, and there's this rebel Joe who wants to play guitar and rock music, which has been totally banned from society. But this is a really kind of laid-back rock album, and I really like it, with some very interesting instrumentation. Some beautiful harmonies in this. Again, the bass is nicely represented, and there's good texture to the bass here. I'm very impressed with what they've done on the bass with this. I just wish I would like it a little boosted for my purposes, but I think most people buying this headphone will feel that it's a very good bass. But it's well tuned. They're not, I would say it's a little mid-forward, but not nuts. Good sense of space, though. I gotta hand it to them on the soundstage is good. The imaging is nice on this headphone. I do think that they push a little bit bright for my taste, though. And that's really going to be the story, I think, at the end of the day. I appreciate... I'm going to stop it here. Okay. I appreciate what Sivka has done with this headphone. It is an upscale headphone from anything I've ever felt, gotten in my hands from Sivka in the past. So credit right there. I think the tuning is going to appeal to a lot of people. It's not exactly my cup of tea because the bass is represented. Like, I can hear sub bass, which is great. It's just not quite on the boosted level that I prefer. That I like that sub bass a little bit enhanced for my taste. It's a quality bass that's not over boosted. It's a little mid forward, and then there's a decent treble representation, maybe a little too much on the treble for my taste. But I think that if you're into sort of that more neutral treble boosted sort of sound, this is going to be a headphone for you. Again, impressed with the build, decent tuning, just not in my lane, but I am impressed overall with them. I just would say make sure you audition these before you just go out and buy them. Now I'm going to go and check out how much they cost. I'm going to put these at about $350, and I want to see what they cost, and we'll go to audio46.com, as all of you should. Sorry, that was lame. And we've got ourselves the 023, $379. Well, we pretty much nailed that one. I came within 20 bucks, 30 bucks. That's pretty good. That's not bad for my design. Now let's see what they're made out of. It's a composite diaphragm plated with beryllium. So it's a beryllium coated dynamic driver, 50 millimeters. So you're going to get, that's where the bass presence is coming from. It's just not tuned with a lot of boost, and they say wide extension, and I have to agree with that. There was a very, very wide soundstage on these. It was very nice. And then the build on these is better. I still don't like the resonance on the headband springy thing. I wish these guys would start paying attention to damping these things a little bit. You're gonna get some resonance on this. I don't like that, but the materials are a huge step up for Sivka, and I got to congratulate them on a pair. And these are worth about 350 bucks. I just would say audition them before you go for it. Okay, next up, guys, I think it's shootout time. You see this big pile of headphones back here? I have already started doing comparisons between my top headphones, and this, folks, is going to be the biggest mega shootout I've ever done. It will be the most expensive shootout I've ever done. We're talking Susvara, Abyss 1266TC, LCD5, LCD4, Meze Elite and Meze Lyric, the Audeze Carbon Electrostatic, and of course that Focal Utopia 2021. I'm not that rich. Okay, most of the headphones in this shootout weren't even here last year when we did the last mega one. So this is going to be epic, I promise you. So I hope you drop by to check that one out. It's been a year in the making. So subscribe to the Director's Garage so you don't miss any of this live action. And I will see you before you know it.